Today I'm talking to Minna Alanko-Falola from the Compost Works in Liverpool, England about compost. Thanks for joining me today. When plants and food waste break down, they give off methane, which is one of the worst greenhouse gases. Is composting here better at home than sending it away to the city compost?
Right. First of all, the methane situation happens in extreme conditions where oxygen isn't present. So in normal composting process, methane shouldn't be produced. So that's kind of like, it's a situation you want to avoid, which you can easily avoid if you understand the principles of composting. So you don't have to worry about methane if you are kind of aware of the basics of composting. Secondly, I think, first of all, it's great if your city does food waste collections, because my city doesn't. Food waste here just goes in the bin and then it gets incinerated. However, those sort of large systems, often you can't really guarantee the end product is good quality. Whereas if you can compost at home, you can be really cautious and careful and make sure you produce really good quality compost that you can then use at home. So I would say if you can compost at home, do so and make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, so last year we put all our food waste in that green bin.
I see.
From spring to fall, along with lots of leaves. And when we opened it up, it was just a small bit of dirt, about the amount you could put in a shopping bag. What did we do wrong?
Sounds like you were doing everything right. Is it a tumbling system that goes round? You turn it and it goes round?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like you were doing you were making really good choices with what you were putting in. You were putting in your food waste and you were putting in leaves. Maybe they were dry leaves.
Yeah.
Because that's what you need to put in a good kind of combination of ingredients. It's like a recipe. So you need what's known as the green waste, which would be your food waste from your kitchen, and then brown waste, which would be something dead and dry material like dead leaves or shredded paper or cardboard or wood chip or something like that. So if you have a good mixture, usually 50-50, so half of one and half of the other, and it will reduce in size considerably. So if you put in a large amount of food waste, when it becomes compost, it's like a quarter of the original volume. So it sounds like you were doing pretty good with it.
Some of the things had not broken down completely. There were a lot of eggshells and corn cobs. We just broke everything up and added them to the garden. Is that okay, or should we have put them back in the tumbler?
You could have done either. It doesn't matter. Eggshells and big things, big hard things like mango stones and sometimes avocado stones and corn cobs, like you said, take longer to break down. So you can then just chuck them right back in the compost system, maybe break them up, because that will speed things up. Or you can just spread it on the ground, because eventually they will break down. Eggshells as well, they will release, as they break down, they will release nutrients into the soil. So neither is wrong. So you can spread them on the soil, or you can just chuck them right back in for another composting cycle.
Yeah. So for this garden over here, there was a lot of corn. So what we did, we just broke them down and it turned straight to soil.
Yeah.
So I think it just needed like one more year until it would go to soil.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's tiny little creatures called microorganisms that we can't see with our eyes. They're the little creatures that are doing the breaking down of the material that you add in. So it's always best to break down anything which is really hard and sort of tough. It's good to break it up, so you make the job of the microorganisms easier. So that's why you don't want to put in like whole potatoes, for example. It takes a while for them to break up. You want to chop things up and make it easier for the microorganisms to chomp through.
Yeah. We have very poor soil. It's all clay here. So last fall, instead of bagging up the leaves, we just raked them into the garden beds and left them decompose. We still have a few left. What should we do with them?
You could either start what's known as leaf mold compost. You can make a frame with some chicken wire and just pile those leaves in there. Just leaves. They will take a good couple of years to break down, but what you will end up with is a really rich, fungal rich product, which is going to be really good for the soil. Alternatively, you can just chuck those leaves with food waste into your tumbling compost, and they will break down quicker that way.
When we moved here, there was already a compost box half full. We have added it for 2 years, and this spring we emptied it to get some more soil from our vegetable patch. But the first 2 years were all sticks, and the stuff that was there before was finally soil. Does it take 3 years to break down?
It can take 3 years to break down if the ingredients are in really big bits. So anything that's woody, you are always better somehow shredding it or mulching it or chipping it. That way it will break down quicker, and it'll also add some structure into the finished compost. So it can, and also if you just have a static, what's known as a static compost, which you don't turn, that can take longer. So a tumbling system, or a system that you will regularly turn with a garden fork, that will break down quicker. But you want to make sure that everything that you add is sort of in fairly small pieces. That makes things quicker.
Yeah. So maybe that's why the corn took longer.
Exactly. And also nature has designed, like woody bits, nature has designed things to last, you know, like trees, they have a protective layer against rain, and we have a protective, our skin is tough, it, you know, it doesn't break down quickly. So nature has designed things to last. So if you want things to break down, you kind of need to do some of that breaking down yourself just to speed things up.
What should we do with the sticks? If you mulch them up or burn them and add the ashes to the compost, is that good or bad for the planet?
Definitely, I would say don't burn. We don't need to burn things. There's already enough heat on this planet, as I'm sure you can feel today. So it's mulching is better. So by mulching, I'm assuming you mean like chipping it with a chipping machine. Yeah, mulching sticks, absolutely great, and it'll be a really good addition in your compost bin along with your food waste. And that's the sticks will be the brown material, and the food waste will be the green material, and you want 50-50 of those to go in. That'll be a good mix.
Yeah. What do you wish more people knew about composting?
Well, I think lots of people, composting has quite a bad press, so you can mention the word compost to somebody who doesn't do it, and their first reaction might be, ooh, it stinks, or ooh, rats, or something like that. I wish people just knew a bit more about the basics, and that it's not scary, and it's actually not difficult if you know a few basic rules and you pay attention to what you are adding, and you make sure there's a good balance of ingredients. So don't be afraid of composting, read about it and give it a go. It's not difficult.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining me today, Minna. And remember, together kids can save the world. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.